Scrappy friends, welcome to my channel today. I am back doing a mixed media layout. It has been a hot minute, so thank you for sticking with me. The month of May has been super crazy busy, and June looks like it's going that same way. I actually made this background or started this background a while ago. So yeah. That's just how busy it's just been, but it's a good busy, right? So I am starting this. Now, I started this thinking I was going to do this for a hop, or part of it. So I was inspired by, gosh, I forget what layout it was. And it's nothing like the layout that I seen. So and but anyway, so I am using those two paints. They're both acrylic paints. One is the Prima acrylic paint, and then actually they're both Prima. One's impasto and one's like a liquid acrylic. And I thought it needed more paint, so I am using the stencil to put the teal, which is a little bit of the Prima liquid paint with, I think I used some texture paint from Prima that I had in my stash just to darken it up just a smidge. And then I'm using this other paint, which is not that purple paint. This is actually a paint that I got at Creativation. It's from Chroma, and they also make, what other brands do they make? Because they had a really big booth. Gosh, I can't remember. If I can remember, I'll make sure I put it down in below. But they make a whole bunch of fun colors. It's just another paint company to try out. And they had this really perfect lighter pink or purple. And so I like how the colors are a little bit different and they really stand out. And I love the way that it looked with that stencil. So, and I just used a makeup brush, like a sponge makeup foam piece. Now, the one that I had is not like some of the beauty like blenders and stuff, because it was from the Asian craft, or like they have a craft section in their like dollar type store. It's not really a dollar, but everything is a lot cheaper. And they have similar things that are like what you would find like at the dollar store type of thing. And so I really love going there. They have some really awesome things and deals and stuff. So anyway, I use that, which it only you can only use it a couple of times and then you have to throw it out. But honestly, for the blenders, I feel like it works pretty well. Even with that intricate stencil, and that's a Dear Lizzie stencil. It's like super old. So what I'm wanting to do is have a little bit of that mixed media peek out. I don't want the whole thing showing, which I know is crazy. You're like, Hannah, that's crazy because you just spent all that time creating this really cool background, which I think probably could have looked better or different if I didn't have it just so blocky. Like I feel like that bottom paint was a little blocky, and for me it was too messy, which, you know, go with me here. And so I want to cover some of it up. I want to make it so that you're not seeing the whole thing. And I cut off the corners of this really busy flower paper, which I thought went pretty well with that stencil, and it just wasn't enough. So I'm going to cut some more, and instead of putting it back to like right flush up next to each other, I am going to leave a little bit of space and just make it really fun and artsy. And so I do use my big ruler to like cut it, if you will, because I want that look. So I did kind of think about maybe putting it right next to each other, and then I decided no, I don't want to do that. I think that is cocoa vanilla paper, if I'm not mistaken. I am using one of the For the Love of Homemade Kits kit that I made, and I was doing that as a series for a few months, and then I've just been so busy that I'm just kind of playing around with the kits that I made. I haven't broke them apart yet, though I think I'm going to at some point. And I'm just gonna either make like really small mini kits for different layouts, or I'm gonna go through and do a couple of layouts with past kits that I have in my stash. I still haven't broken apart all of them yet. So I kind of play around. I've played around in my head what I want to do, but I just haven't done it. And honestly, lately, things have been so busy. I've just been working on a lot of these backgrounds and just kind of working on them and then putting them aside. And then the last couple of weekends, I've had a little bit more time to like create more layout type stuff with some of the backgrounds. So that's been kind of fun, and it's been really nice to like take that pressure off of like, okay, I don't have as much mental capability to like do a whole bunch of layouts. So just focusing on like smaller tasks of things, like playing with products that I have. And I have a whole bunch of products and stuff that I want to play with. I've made a whole bunch of watercolors for the Crafty Maven store, and so it's just been really fun. I decided that wouldn't it be cool if I ink these edges with ink that go along with the colors that I did. And so I was doing it, trying not to take the paper off, the pattern paper, and it was just not working as well as I would have liked. I'm using just inks that I have in my stash. I don't have a whole bunch because I don't do a ton of stamping, but I had that purple Memento color, and then I also have that purple Ultinu, and I love their little quad, or I say they're quads, they're like those little square ones are really nice, and they are super pigmented and they last forever, because I haven't been scrapping, like I took that break and I haven't been using them really in the time in between. Like maybe once or twice I did a couple of cards, because I have now become the official card maker for my husband, and so a lot of times at work, if they need a card, I'll make it, or I've made cards for our friends, which I used to never do a ton of cards, but he's kind of just been encouraging me to do a little bit more and use the skills that I have for things like that. And honestly, all of our friends like super love it. So I think later this month, I want to do some card backgrounds with stuff. I did take a card class in blending not that long ago at the Scrapbook and Cards expo. But anyway, back to the layout. I am using these two photos. It is the same exact photo, but I used a different filter on the one that's on the bottom, and it is super cute and it looks really pink. And so I thought this would be really fun to have the two different photos that were similar, or that are the same but like different colors, and the color really looks fun with the background. And I am gonna try to use a lot of the same colors as the background. So that mixed media, I want to really play with that monochromatic, but it's the two colors. And at first, let me tell you, I'm still not super happy with how that background looks. It just looks really messy. Like, I love the way the stencil looks on the paint, and especially on the bottom part. That thinner acrylic paint, the liquid is like super thin, so you get more of like a wash look, which I think could look really awesome on like honestly, that would look really super cool on a card or something small, like maybe even a Project Life type of card. But anyway, but as I get going and as I keep adding and doing all my layers and my thing, it comes together and I love it. And so, I mean, I'm loving this combo, the purple and the green tealy colors. I am just loving that combo. I get so inspired by colors. It is insane. And I mean, we all have that, right? We all have our things that we love, and why steer from them all the time? I mean, we can't always do, or we shouldn't always do the same thing, because it is nice to have that diversity. But when you just really love something, you got to do it. And so that is also what I'm doing with the layers, and I'm just gonna work and try to get some really cool and fun layers. Let these colors peek through. And I'm just going to build this. And I do put that bottom pattern paper that has all the words on it. I did put that up on Pop Dots. Oh, shoot. I keep forgetting that I want to get some actual like foam, craft foam sheets so that I'm not using all the dimensional. I have like one of the rolls, and it's amazing, but I think that the craft foam works just as well. So if you guys are looking for something that's like maybe a little cheaper, but then you do have to use like a liquid glue that's gonna be really strong. So because if you use a tape runner, it doesn't work very well on those craft foam pieces. I mean, I guess maybe if you did it on the paper, but even then I don't think it would do it. You have to use liquid glue. So I'm just playing, and then I put that bottom one on the Pop Dots, and then I put the photos also on Pop Dots. So there's quite a bit of dimension, and I wanted that because one, I'm adding a lot of layers, as now you can see my head as I have to get in there. And sometimes that's how it is when you're doing layers. My layout decided to like sneak down on the bottom there. And I'm just playing with it because I really want to make sure that I get enough of the colors peeking through, but I don't want too much. And like, it sounds complicated, but honestly, I really am just like looking to see how do I feel when I look at this? Like, do I think this is enough, or is it not enough for me? And every time is different, and so I just have to play around with it. That's why I never glue it in right away, or hardly ever. That way I can pull it away. I mean, the nice thing with the ATG gun tape runner is that you do have a little bit of leeway. Sometimes it will stick right away, but it is quite easy to just like pull it and everything. So pull something back up, and then okay, so now I cut out me fussy cutting all these because you guys don't need to see that, right? Honestly, I need to work on fussy cutting a whole bunch of stuff like this while I'm watching movies or something, because that's the best way I like to do it when I'm doing something else. And that paper, those flowers were from a paper that was One Canoe 2. And I really like the white. It really looks really nice with the white on the trees. And those are cherry trees. So my neighbor has a cherry tree, and it's right along the fence line. And it's super pretty when it's really in bloom. I will say it looks a little bit sad more and more as the years go by. It must be a really old cherry tree. When we first moved in, the kids loved to try to reach over the fence and steal as much of the cherries that they could grab. And of course, a lot of them dropped down in our yard. And so the kids and the dog thought it would be really fun to just eat those. And the cherries here in Washington State are just yummy. Now, these ones are not the Rainier cherries, which those are my favorite. But anyway, those ones are just the plain darker ones. And then I'm using some printables that are from my April kit, I think. I think that was April, because I didn't do one for May. And if you guys want those printables, so those are cherry blossom flowers that I drew and then created some printables. And I have an element sheet that you can just get the elements, which have flowers. There's some tags. There's some like smaller pieces like that rainbow, and some labels and stuff like that. And then, or you can get like, I made a pattern paper with those flowers too. So, and those are at the store. So I'll make sure I link that below so that you guys can see it. I've been using a lot of those kinds of things on, well, one, I created them, so I might as well create with them. And it's been really fun doing that. I will say it's a lot of work, and I'm not able to keep up creating and drawing stuff every month. So I think I'm going to try to release something every 3 months if I can, or something like that. Though, anyway, I'm just thinking of an idea. Maybe one day I can put them together in like a booklet or something. But anyway, so now I'm going to add a tag up here. I do put it on a pattern paper or something, or a package or something, because I wanted it thicker. 'Cause those are Pretty Little Studio tags, and I love their tags. They're watercolor looking, and so they're super fun. And it goes really well. So these are just some of the petals. So I created the flowers and then the petals so that you could do something like cascading, and it's perfect. The pinks, they're different color pinks. So I added some purple and pink like shades in there. And it has like a watercolor look. So I just love it. And then I played around with it. I was inspired by Altenew had a pattern paper that had some like cherry blossom like pattern on it at some point. I think it was just the petals. And so that's what made me think of creating the flowers and then a pattern paper with the flowers and stuff. So, and then I think I'm almost done with this. I'm just really adding like some little bits and pieces. I use some of the hearts from that Chamel paper. And I'm just like layering this all around and trying to get it, I don't know, right, I guess. There's really no right way to get it. But you know how, I'm sure if you guys craft, you know how that is, right? You just gotta play with it until it looks right. Well, and I think this is why I probably am not creating as many layouts as I would like, because I'm just really taking my time and enjoying the process of just creating something and making it pretty for myself. And I find that when I take that pressure off, it makes it so much more enjoyable, and especially now that I'm not creating for design teams or anything, and I can do challenges as I want to do them. Like, I wish I could do way more challenges with a lot of the other crafters online, but I just don't have as much time to commit to it as much. So I know that was one of my goals that I was doing earlier this year, but I just can't really keep it up right now, and it probably is not going to get any easier until my kids go to their father's house. So it'll probably be closer to the fall time before things like really slow down, would be my guess. But that's okay. It's okay. because I'm just having fun creating. So I am almost done with this layout. I'm just trying to find some little teeny tiny pieces. I did look through some of the pieces in the Vicky Boutin pack of vellum and stuff, but I didn't see anything that really jumped out much to add to the layout. So I'm just going to use some of these Chamel. Oh, I did use that piece, which is like a circle. Actually, those would be really easy and fun to create myself, so I should probably do that. Maybe I'll do a little tutorial on making like some of your own embellishments or something. Anyway, I am almost done, guys. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. All your support means the world to me, and I hope that you guys have a scrappy weekend. Great scrappy weekend. I'll see you guys later. Bye.